Isabella Benjumea joins us now. She is a survivor of the 2018 shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida, that you may remember had killed 17 people. It's so great to have you here, and thank you for your time and sharing with us. I think when people see the headlines and they see the number of victims, that doesn't account for victims like yourself, those who survived this kind of tragedy. I know it's been 7 years since Parkland. It's something that is kind of seared in our memories, but especially for you. Can you tell us a little bit about what life has been like in those past 7 years, how you have possibly moved on?
Well, I am a survivor of the Parkland shooting, and it has definitely been a hard 7 years, especially seeing how these shootings happen and happen. And I thought the Parkland shooting was going to be one of the last ones, but unfortunately, we have seen a lot of other shootings these years, and it has taken a lot of therapy, a lot of leaning on my family, leaning on God to get through it. And I was 14 when I lived through this shooting. So I was very young, but the kids today are even younger. So I understand what they're going through, and it just makes me frustrated that this keeps on happening even 7 years after Parkland.
You mentioned that even time has passed, it feels kind of right there. What would you tell families today who are going through this right now about what you went through and how you got to a place where you are now?
I would tell them that it's going to get better. It doesn't feel like right now, like it's going to get better, but it will, with the help of God, with the help of their families, with the help of people that they trust. And I send my deepest condolences to everyone in Minnesota who are grieving right now. And I can just tell them that this is a moment that will change their lives forever. They won't be the same person that they were before. I'm not the same person that I was when I was 14, but it eventually gets better after a lot of working on yourself, after a lot of just leaning on those people who make you feel strong and make you feel happy. And even though it doesn't seem like it could get better right now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm just praying for all those families.
And Isabella, what is it like for you when you hear this kind of news today of another shooting?
It brings back many memories. It takes me back to 2018 in my English classroom, hiding underneath my desk, hearing gunshots and listening to people cry and yell. And it just takes me back to that moment in the 1200 building of Stum and Douglas, when I thought it was a drill while I was hiding underneath my desk until I found out it wasn't. And then I ran, I saw blood on the ground, I saw people with gunshot wounds, and I just lived a nightmare, and it just takes me back to that moment. And unfortunately, it has happened so much since Parkland that I am getting used to hearing these news and these reports of new shootings. But every time it happens, it touches my heart, and it just reminds me of what it went through and how it's been like for me. And I just feel so much for these families and for everyone who's going through it. So it's just very upsetting and frustrating that it keeps on happening. And I just feel for all those families.
And what do you think people should understand about those who go through this and survive, who may have not been physically harmed, but were there and have unseen harms?
That we may have not been physically harmed, but there is a mark forever in us, in our
Mm.
hearts, in our life. We, as survivors, kind of have like the survival guilt that where we ask ourselves, why did I survive but the others didn't? For
Mm.
the longest time thought about, why did 17 people have to die in Parkland, but I got to walk away and they didn't.
Hmm.
And it leaves a mark in us forever. It changes our lives forever. We're not the same people that we were once before the shooting. It stays with you every single day, year after year, and it kind of creeps up on you when you least expect it. When you
Mm.
are in college, at work, with your family, it just comes back when you least expect it, and you just keep that trauma with you your whole life. It does get
Hmm.
better, but it never completely goes away. So it's something that you never forget.
Well, Isabella Benjumea, we really appreciate your time. We don't forget you or any of these victims today. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and our hearts go out to you as well as all of those in Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you.